Welcome everyone, and hello there. Welcome to our weekly Facebook live tutorial. My name is Chong, your fertility dietitian from Brisbane, Australia. Now, whether you are planning to start a family, currently trying to conceive, or struggling to get pregnant, my job here is to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step nutrition strategies to get your diet right so that your dream of having a baby can come true. And welcome to our weekly tutorial class. And today is such an interesting topic because we are going to have a chat about this special nutrient that often not a lot of doctors or even nutritionists or dietitians talk about. So we are going to have a chat about what is choline. So when we often talk about optimizing your diet for your fertility and also your pregnancy, there's a lot of attention on getting enough of folic acid, right? But there's this one nutrient, it's often not in the spotlight. Like I mentioned, it's often not even talked about among the doctors or even in the nutrition guidelines, and this nutrient is called choline. And certainly today I want you to pay special attention about this particular nutrient and how you can ensure that you get enough. So make sure you stay tuned for today's episode. Now, to give you just an information in terms of the statistic, right? There's a shocking number of more than 90% of Australians aren't getting enough of choline. And this is according to a recent study published by an Australian researcher back in 2019. It's just simply there isn't enough of awareness. What is choline? Not a lot of people know about it. There's certainly not enough talk about choline. But today I want you to learn that choline is actually essential to health at all ages and also different stages in life. So we're going to focus on in particularly when you are trying for baby, during pregnancy, and also eventually during the breastfeeding stage. Why is choline so crucial? So basically, choline is involved in many of the same metabolic pathway as folate, right? So including what we call methylation. So if you imagine choline is actually as equally as important as folate. There are new studies suggest that choline may even help to prevent neurotube defects and play an important role in particularly the brain and also the spinal cord development during pregnancy. So basically it also helps to regulate memory, mood, and also the muscle control. Now, like folate, choline is, like I say, it's really essential during preconception stage and also during pregnancy. It involves in many body function, mainly such as the gene expression, right? It helps the cell membrane formations, regulate the messaging between the nerves, and protect against neurodegeneration as we all age. What makes it interesting though, is when your diet is deficient in folate, right? Then the need of your diets to get enough of choline actually increase, because choline will become what we call in scientific terms the primary material donor, right? So in summary, you can see that choline is essential, it's important as folate, and it is crucial that you are getting enough from your diet, and I'm going to explain to you why. Now, before we dive into in particularly, in terms of diet, what can you do? I do also want to share with you another piece of research. So there's also another emerging research suggests that choline intake during pregnancy may also impact on the cognitive development in your baby future health, such as visual memory and also the processing speed. But of course, further research needed to kind of further investigate that. But I thought that was something really interesting to know. Now, although our body can make choline, right, in the liver, but the quantity is often quite small, and that's the reason why we need to make sure that we are getting enough of choline from our diet, from the food that you actually eat. All right, now that you know how important choline is, let's talk about where can you get choline and how much do you really need. So the current Australian recommendations basically suggest that what is the minimum or defined as an adequate intake of choline. It's around 425 milligram mg for female between age 19 to 64 years. Now for women during pregnancy, it's roughly approximately about 440 mg, so milligram, and even higher during breastfeeding period, which is at 550 mg. Now, like I say, highlighted before, it's interesting to know, and also it's alarming to know that more than 90% of Australians don't actually consume enough of choline. So where does choline actually from? So choline is widely found in many food, primarily in animal-based products. So in fact, the number one food source of choline is actually coming from eggs. Okay, so if you just imagine if you have 2 eggs a day, that would actually help you to meet at least more than 50% of the choline requirement. Alright, now other food includes meat, chicken. You can also find choline in, say, fish, a lot of whole grains products, or even like beans, nuts, seeds, potatoes, and even some of the cruciferous vegetables such as Brussels sprout, broccoli, and cauliflower. However, even though it's widely present in many food, you do need to eat a lot more. Like for example, if you compare, say for example, broccoli, you would need to have like 4 cups of broccoli, or even like 2 cups of bean in order to get the same amount of choline from a single egg yolk. So again, if you imagine that, that will be a lot harder to do so. So now the other thing you may also ask me, like, and also a lot of my clients would also ask, oh, how about from supplement, right? How about in my pregnancy supplement, does it have choline in there? It really depends. You might be surprised to see that your pregnancy multi, some they may not even have choline in there, even though it's such an important pregnancy nutrient. So basically, in terms of choline in supplement, what you would often see, it come into 3 different forms. Commonly you see them as labeled as choline bitartrate, or the other kind of scientific terms is called phosphatidylcholine, if I pronounce it right, or lecithin. So these are the 3 different kind of types of choline that are commonly used in the pre-pregnancy supplement or prenatal supplement. Now, like I said before, some multivitamins may not include them, or some they do have them, but the amount really depends on many different brands. But it's usually not gonna be fully meeting your requirement for sure. And why is that not in a lot of prenatal multi, or in fact sometimes not in them at all? The reason why is because choline, it's actually a very large molecule. So if you imagine, for some of you here who is taking pregnancy multi, for example, that's once a day formula, the tablet actually already quite huge. In fact, I just got one of my clients just feedback to me, like, Katrin, are you serious? You're gonna ask me to eat this? This is huge. So if you imagine that, because it's such a nutrition packed supplement, right? So the tablet is already huge. So if the company added in choline in there, it's even harder. It's even harder to manufacture it because it's just simply it's too large in terms of the tablet to swallow, right? So again, depending on how good is your quality of a diet, you may need to take an additional supplement, like a standalone choline supplement, or again, you may not need to. The pregnancy multi that you currently take may already sufficient to meet the requirements. So again, depending on the quality of diet. So Now that you understand the basis behind how important is choline, and also what other food usually cholines are in, let's talk about the actions that you can take today, right? So number one, remember you need more choline while you are trying for the baby or even during pregnancy, not less, definitely. So remember, you need more choline. Now, number two, suppose that you are someone enjoy eating eggs. I would definitely recommend them to include in your daily diet. So roughly about 2 eggs a day. If you like them, you can try out different cooking methods. It doesn't necessarily need to be always hard boiled. You can do like a scrambled eggs, you can do like a baked frittata, or you can even just, fry the eggs with a little bit of oil. That is also okay to do so. Now, some people I know that you probably also concerned about, okay, what about the cholesterol, right? So in fact, the latest research shows that the impacts of eating eggs on your cholesterol health is actually not as high as compared to the other foods. So I would say that it is still okay to enjoy the eggs. And one interesting fact that you must remember is don't take out the yolks. It's because choline is mainly in the yolk itself. So make sure when you do enjoy eggs, do include the yolk still. Now, number three, some action step for you. If you're someone don't really like to eat eggs, or you currently follow a vegetarian, so even a vegan diet that exclude eggs now, then I would definitely recommend you may need an additional choline supplement on top of optimizing other choline food source. And again, that is just because it's so hard to meet the 100% kind of the adequate intake. So I would then strongly recommend you is to consider a supplement. But like I always say, it's always best to see a fertility dietitian to help you to customize and also source the best quality form of supplement for you. All right, so before I go, I'm curious, have you heard about choline before? Or what surprised you the most from today's episode? Leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. All right, my friend, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to press subscribe button so you will get notified every time we go on live or when we release a new video. And if you find today's video useful, feel free to share with your friends and leave a review down below our channel. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.